Alright, we are live. Hello everybody, welcome back to another live stream. Today is a different live stream. Today, we're going to be reacting on a live stream. And today is a special day, guys, because today marks the 1 year of the very first Five Nights at Freddy's game. 4 years, guys. 4 years. I, I feel old. Hello, the Greek God. Hello, welcome to the stream. And yeah, so I just want to, before we begin the reaction, guys, I just want to thank Scott Cawthon for making an awesome franchise. I like the gameplay, I love the mechanics, and I like the YouTubers who played it. Scott Cawthon made an awesome game. And yeah, was this not carry on with the intro, if that makes any sense. And yeah, make sure you subscribe to Darko, leave a like, and comment below. OMG, this is amazing. Alright, let's begin. 3, 2, 1. Hit the like button for Scott Cawthon.
What's going on, guys?
Oof.
I hope you're fantastic today.
I am fantastic.
The interview with Scott
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
So excited.
I'm so excited too.
I'm so freaking nervous for this, but it's going to be great. I've got a bunch of questions to ask him.
Oh my gosh, I can't really hear his voice.
Through till Ultimate Custom Night. And the future as well. So we're going to ask him.
Oh yeah, the future. And I will play Scott Cawthon's older games in the future, guys. And yeah.
Please understand as well that I've got a lot.
What's in the box?
I couldn't ask everybody.
What's in the box?
Literally 10,000 questions.
Oh my gosh.
So I had to pick each ones, and I gave Scott the questions, and we've reviewed them together for the ones he wants to answer.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all I need to say. Thank you so much for the support, and again, thank you, Scott.
Yes, he made an awesome
games. I am incredibly nervous. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm incredibly grateful for you guys and Scott as well.
I do have Minecraft, but I have to get it back soon because somehow got deleted. I'll tell you an update, guys. Oh, here we go.
Hello?
Hello.
Scott Cawthon phone guy.
You beat 50-20 mode, and I have to do an interview now, which I'm kind of uncomfortable with, but I'm going to do it. I'll forget it. Okay, I'm done with the phone guy shit, so... I'm going to try and keep it going.
Scott Cawthon phone guy. He's the voice of phone guy.
That's perfect. That's perfect.
So how are you doing today, Lewis?
I am very
Oh
scared and nervous. Because, you know...
No, that's crazy talk. Yeah, I've been a little anxious about this too, because I tend to ramble on with my answers sometimes, but I haven't prepared any answers for this. I'm just going to try to speak from the heart and just talk about some stuff, and yeah, it'll be good.
Yeah, awesome. Because today...
And this is 1 hour, guys. 1 hour and 33 minutes and 30 seconds.
So...
This is a very long stream.
It's crazy.
Yeah, 4 years.
It is crazy. This is an awesome...
So the first game, so 4 years since Five Nights at Freddy's.
I feel old.
Straight into that. So the first question I'd love to ask you, kick it off.
Oh, okay.
How did you think of the original designs of the animals?
Oh, that's a good question.
The main three characters, Freddy, Bonnie, and Chica, those designs just kind of, I didn't really plan ahead like what animals they should be.
Oh,
They just kind of
okay.
seemed natural to me for some reason. The only one I really struggled with was trying to think of the fourth character. Who would be on the separate little stage, kind of by himself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm trying to remember all the options that I originally was kind of debating between. I mean, one of the contenders was a fox, obviously, which ended up winning. The other one was a wolf. And the other one was going to be a beaver.
Oh.
And then later I decided against that because I thought that was too on the nose from Chipper, so I decided against that. But yeah, actually, if I remember correctly, I really think that a beaver character was the front runner.
A beaver character.
I decided against him because of Chipper, and then went with the fox instead.
Yeah. So Freddy was always going to be the original leader instead of Chipper.
Yeah.
Oh.
Freddy was always going to be the main character. He was the first character that I made.
Mm-hmm.
It just came naturally. I didn't didn't have to plan him out. I just knew that he was going to be a bear with a top hat holding a microphone.
Yeah.
He was always going to be the leader of the pack.
The next question is,
Okay.
how did you come up with the game mechanics? So
Ooh.
sitting alone.
Yeah,
this,
I wonder how you
know,
came
with
up with that.
I think someone mentioned about sit and survive.
No,
about
I am
having any
Irish.
inspiration for that. Any like old games inspire you for this one?
I have a little bit of British inside of me.
Sit and survive was just kind of a,
I'm Irish and American.
Well, then again, I guess it was my mindset at the time, because my mindset at the time was to make the smaller games.
Okay.
That would be kind of a shorter experience, because for a while I was trying to make these, big kind of sweeping games like the Desolate Hope and stuff, and it was just too much of a gigantic commitment that ultimately, that they just weren't paying off. And at the time, I was really struggling, to find, something to kind of, support my family and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And Five Nights at Freddy's was kind of the result of me switching to this idea of making these shorter experiences that I can make a bit faster, without committing, 2 years to them, while also, just making it a really robust experience. It's just a shorter game, So I think that played a big part in it. Everything is designed to where you see everything right away. As soon as you jump in, you're in the experience.
Yeah.
And so it doesn't matter if it lasts for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. You're in the middle of it right away.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
Did anything change along the course of making FNAF 1?
I don't think it had any problems. Lots of the stuff that was in there, I don't know. But Five Nights at Freddy's 1, I think just was a result of just all the right ingredients to be there. I threw a bunch of stuff in there, and then people would kind of.
I wonder if one of the questions is what's in the box?
But they would give me some advice. Like one person said, "Oh, I think you should leave out phone guy. I think that's too much exposition." And my mother jumped in and said, "Oh, I don't think you should have backstory about anybody being killed. I don't think the game needs that." And then I think I've made a lot of good decisions about what to leave in, and what to take out. And it was just all the right ingredients. All the right ingredients were there. So yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
Really stood out from all of the indie games everybody was playing at that time, and that's definitely how it became successful. It just stood out from any other horror experience as well. So yeah, good job.
I do have all the books. I have the Silver Eyes, the Twisted Ones, and the Fourth Closet.
Exploding. Did you think it was going to, get a huge reaction on the internet?
No, of course not. I mean, but like I said, at the time, I was just trying to, make a bunch of little games to kind of.
And I do have the
support my family at the time. I think I was making.
hold on,
slot machine games.
I do have the survival logbook, not the one with that had Mike has the Michael one with the Chica one, the one that has the Scribe Baby is in it. That's the one I have. I forgot the name of it. The one that has Scribe Baby.
Time and effort into Five Nights at Freddy's, obviously, but as far as expecting it to explode, no, of course not. I remember whenever I released it, I didn't get it on Steam or anything. It was a website called Deseret at the time, which was just more immediately welcoming of anybody who wanted to post games. I think there are other sites that do that now, but I was watching the download count on that, and I was watching it just kind of skyrocket. And
I'm shaking right now because I'm so excited.
And eventually, my wife would come over and she'd be like, "Let me look at the number. Let me look at the number." She'd come over every 10 minutes, like, she was just astonished at how quickly that number was just going from 5,000 downloads, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000. It was just going through the roof just by the minute, And it really at the time, I was just kind of enjoying it that evening. I was like, well, this is great, but it'll be over tomorrow. And that was really my mindset. It's like, oh wow, this is a big spike. Everybody's really enjoying it. I wonder what I'm going to make tomorrow. I had no idea that 4 years later I was still going to be in the middle of a bunch of, Five Nights at Freddy's projects.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Do you have a favourite memory of Five Nights at Freddy's one?
Yeah, I do. And
Ooh, which one?
it's the first jump scare for me.
The Bonnie one.
And it was all Bonnie, which thrills me because Bonnie is kind of the only one that I think is a scary design for me. Like I've never had a nightmare about any of my own characters except for Bonnie. But yeah, I remember when I was developing the game at the time, Bonnie was just a still image and not an animated jump scare. I just had an image of Bonnie up in your face for whenever he had reached you.
Yeah.
And that startled me. I was supposed to do the and stuff, and I was intentionally I was testing out the AI.
Yeah.
I think I even had a little map showing me that there was a little red dot moving through the building.
Mm-hmm.
But even though I was expecting it, I put down a monitor and there was Bonnie looking at me, and it was upsetting. It was startling.
Yeah.
And that now that doesn't really startle anybody anymore, but at the time,
yeah,
it got me. And so then I was letting, after I'd animated, I was letting my two sons play it, and I was getting to watch the. I had a good seat behind both of them, so I was able to get a good view of them playing and what they were playing and everything. Mm-hmm. And I knew what was coming, and they had no idea. And the younger of the two, he got jump scared by Bonnie, and he just launched backward in his chair.
Oh my goodness! Yikes!
Good time tormenting the children.
It's a good time tormenting the children.
You still do. You made them test Ultimate Custom Night as well. 4 years on.
No, I'll say what. My two sons, Ian and Brady, they've been great. They've been great supporters. All these years. I couldn't have done any of this without those two. They've been just faithful beta testers for me. And whenever they were really little, I'd pay them through ice cream and stuff like that. But I made a big mistake this last time with Brady. Obviously I don't make them do this, so I try to incentivize them. And Braden's gotten wise, but he's like, well, how about if I go through and beat all these challenges, And so I just thought, well, I don't know, I'll give you $20 for each of the challenges he beat, thinking he was going to be one or two. I was like, yeah, he'll spend 30 minutes on it. So I'll $20, $40, $60, whatever. He sat there and he did like a 12-hour marathon on that game.
Oh my goodness!
He was raging so hard in there, and he completed every single one of those challenges except for like the last one, I think.
Yeah.
That boy made bank that day. $300.
What?
Oh, worth it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, man. But it was totally worth it because he found bugs and glitches that would have been really bad. I mean, that's the whole point anyway. He found these things that I needed to fix before I released the game. So.
Okay, here's an interesting question about FNAF 1.
Wasn't bots.
Was there any reason why the kitchen camera was disabled?
Oh yes, yes.
15 or anything like that?
No. I thought it would be interesting. I mean, that mechanic ended up not really playing a big role in anything. Mm-hmm. I think originally, I had wanted, and I just got better with this in later games, how to make audio play a bigger role in it. I got better at that. But in the first one, that was just my attempt to make audio play a bigger part in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it kind of ended up just being just something different and not really being a major mechanic or anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a good mechanic to know that Freddy was in the kitchen as well.
Ah, I see.
When Freddy's in the kitchen, he plays his music, right?
That's right. That's right. So
I think it does play a mechanic because you know that Freddy's in there, and usually when Freddy's roaming around, you see his eyes, but you just see nothing inside there. So when you were making Five Nights at Freddy's 1, were you already planning on making a sequel, or any other ideas what were flinging in your head on what to do?
I definitely left a lot of things open-ended, in case I wanted to expand upon them later. I mean, obviously, like I did not have the entire story planned out, because I know there's much debate about that on the subreddit. Like, he's the kind of mad genius that had, 7 games planned up in the beginning. No, I didn't. How, but I definitely knew that the story I was telling in the first game was a small snippet of a larger story. Even if I didn't have all the details of that story fleshed out yet, I knew that the story being told in that game was a smaller part of a whole.
And if you could go back in time, is there anything you would change or add to Five Nights at Freddy's 1?
No, not the first one.
Yeah.
I can go back and think about all the other games and be like, I wish I'd done this, I wish I'd done that. But no, the first game was just kind of a perfect storm of ingredients. It was, it was at the right time. It was when, everybody was really into indie horror games.
Yeah.
And I think it was the right look, it was the right feel. It was something, different than what everybody else was playing. And it was, kind of a type of horror game, or at least the antagonists were something that hadn't really been explored in horror games. I didn't feel, the idea of animatronic creatures. So, and everybody really liked Phone Guy. Obviously, everybody liked the little Easter eggs thrown in and the backstory. No, it was just a good mix of ingredients, and it's kind of lightning in a bottle. And I don't think I was ever able to fully capture that again, and I don't think I really will be able to. And that's okay. I mean, like I said, that was kind of lightning in a bottle.
Right, we'll go on to Five Nights at Freddy's 2 next.
Ooh.
November 2014. If you didn't make this game, I wouldn't be here now.
2014? Wow, I feel old.
So FNAF 2 is the game that really means.
So I just created this dope website with Wix. Let me show you how I did it. First up,
Really ads.
Me, and I'll be forever grateful for it. So
You had to put ads in.
thank you. Just wanted to quickly plug that in.
Good.
I appreciate it. About Five Nights at Freddy's 2, how did you get the idea for, changing the mechanics up a little bit? So the masks and the vents.
Oh, yeah.
Watching the puppet.
There wasn't a really in-depth planning phase. For like the overall feel of the games, like a lot of these were, I just kind of knew what they were supposed to be, or just kind of felt the way that the series should progress. Like I knew that part 2 should be chaotic. Part 2 should be, a lot more chaotic than the first one. It should be just crazy. It should be overwhelming panic. And then I also knew, even at that time, as I was working on part 2, I knew that 3 should be a very personal experience. It should be the opposite of what 2 was. Part 3 should be kind of one-on-one. And I knew that part 4 should be kind of unique as far as setting and things like that. And I knew that part 5 should be kind of high-tech. And I even kind of already had color schemes picked out. Like I knew that part 5 should kind of be purples and blues.
Yeah.
Okay.
I knew that 3 should be kind of green, and I knew that 2 should be kind of 2 should feel kind of industrial, which I think that does.
Yeah.
But outside of that, I'm not really sure. And maybe there was more to it at the time, but it all happened so fast,
Yeah. Did you have any scrapped content or anything for the game? Because some people mentioned the toxicity. Is that toxicity meter?
Right. The toxic meter. I think, if I remember correctly, I think that the toxic meter was an early idea on just something so that players couldn't put the mask on and leave it on forever.
Yes, leave it on forever.
Yeah.
That idea that if you put the mask on, this meter starts running out.
Yeah.
But I don't know. That didn't really seem to fit. I don't know. It just didn't seem to. It didn't make quite as much sense. And so then the way that I solved it was, obviously having the need to go on wind the music box every once in a while, and the fact that Foxy was a music box. Other ways that felt.
Sorry about that, guys. I keep shaking the table a little bit. Okay, where were we? I think we were here.
Players couldn't.
I don't know.
I don't know. It just didn't seem players couldn't put the mask on and leave it on forever.
Yes, leave it on forever.
I had the idea that if you put the mask on, the meter starts running out.
I'm not going to shake the table because,
That didn't really seem to fit. I don't know. It just didn't seem to. It didn't make quite as much sense. And so then the way that I solved it was, obviously having the need to go on wind the music box every once in a while, and the fact
Yes.
that, you know, Foxy was immune to the mask. You know, I came up with
Yeah.
other ways that felt a little more natural than just putting on the mask and seeing a meter deplete. Like, oh, okay, I can only wear this for 5 seconds. It seems a little too artificial.
And it works perfectly anyway, so I don't think it was needed anyway because of what you just said, the things that you've added. You're not going to always keep the mask on forever anyway, so...
Yeah.
Was there a reason why you decided to remove Toy Chica's beak after she left the stage? Probably to make her more creepy, right?
You know, once again, I'm not entirely sure what my mindset was on that. I think it was just kind of a way to distinguish her, stage presence Chica from now the monster coming to get you. You know, like if she's entered attack mode or something. You know, once again, actually, I think maybe part of it is because, like, you know, a classic Chica, even on stage, was still kind of creepy looking, but the toy versions, just in their standing state on stage, weren't quite as creepy. I mean, I think Toy Bonnie still retained some of that, but like Toy Chica isn't really scary looking. Toy Chica by herself isn't very scary, I don't think. And so removing the beak was just one thing to just kind of push it into, you know, making her look a little more uncomfortable.
How did you come up with the mini games? Because this was the first game to ever have mini games. Was this?
I remember the mini games.
You know, show the lore not on paper, if that makes sense. So, you know, instead of just giving like this and this and this, oh blah 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 blah, the killer killed 5 kids, yada yada yada. But instead you didn't show it on paper. You put into a mini game.
Right. I think it was because I don't know. I wanted to keep the gameplay experience similar, but I also wanted to make the game a little bit more fleshed out than the first one, and so that just seems like a kind of a natural way to do that, where you, while not interfering with the gameplay, you know, putting it in kind of an unexpected way that would make it interesting, but while also not making the player feel like they're forced to sit through cutscenes, things like that.
Do you have any good memories of FNAF 2 at all? Or bad?
That was a really stressful time for me, I think, because obviously, you know, my life was changing a lot at that point. You know, there was a lot of, there was a big frenzy going on with just all aspects of my life, and I was really trying to work on that. But I mean, there's still good memories, but I just wouldn't want to revisit that. You know, it was really chaotic, and I was really stressed out. I mean, all good memories, but I wouldn't want to revisit it.
Okay, we'll move on to
Here we go, FNAF 3.
So this is when I emailed you for early access. I literally had only like I think it was like 6k subs or something like that. And I've still got the email. I was like, hey Scott, my name's Dork, I make FNAF videos. Is there any chance I could get it early when it comes out? And you said, yeah, you're probably on your list, which is insane. And that like, honestly...
I still got that list. I still got that list on my desktop, the same one.
Because you still got this.
And it's literally called my the VIP list.
Yeah, you said that. In the email, you said, I'll put you on the VIP list. And I was so happy. I was screaming when you replied. Oh, such a good memory.
And I don't use
turn that off,
very often
guys.
anymore, but I still keep it, you know, because you never know. You never know what's going to come up, you know, for future events. I'll always keep that VIP list.
That's awesome.
There we
Am I
go.
still on it?
Trying to move my legs, guys.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure still on it. Yeah, I never take anybody off the VIP list.
Okay, so I can be bad and then you'll never take me off, right?
Well, I mean, don't test it.
Buddy, don't test it.
I was kind of testing it with Ultimate Custom Night with this 50-20 mode fiasco. 5 Nights at Freddy's 3, another good memory for me.
Yeah.
February. After this game came out, I was in university studying law at the time, and I quit to carry on with this game franchise for my channel.
FNAF 3.
So yeah, another good memory.
The game that confuses us with the story.
How did you think of Springtrap?
I don't know. Once again, he was just a character for that game. I did not sketch out a whole bunch of characters and write pros and cons lists. You know, he was just the natural. He was just the natural villain for that. You know, I knew what the villain was supposed to be, and I just kind of started modeling him, and he just kind of came together.
Yeah. This model was like a big difference compared to the other ones that you did because you had to go through all the details of the, you know, it being withered and having like body parts and gore and stuff like that.
Yeah, so he did take longer to model it, and
Oh, he took longer to
that
model.
whole body, that whole time.
Yeah.
You know, even though the majority of the game you never see it. You know, that purple guy, he's in there.
Yeah.
William.
Well, we got those secret images.
Yeah, that's true. You can see him a little bit.
Yeah, and the troll. Was this the first time you did the troll game as well?
Yeah.
This was when you first.
Yep, it sure was.
The launch of the troll games.
Yeah, that was the first troll game.
And it was.
Sure was.
Oh, we were. It was like a platformer from one of your old games, right?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, old game. There was no pause button. I thought
yes, that's it. Yes. But that was the first time we saw Springtrap as well, because you put Springtrap in the menu, and there were some frames where he did have his like his mask and stuff going crazy, like coming on and off. But
that's right.
I remember the first teaser you did with he always comes back and stuff, and people originally thought that it was like Fredbear, didn't they?
Oh.
Instead of being
they thought it was Golden Freddy, yeah.
Yeah, instead of it being like a rabbit character. So I remember those times, man. I was one of them, by the way. I originally thought it was Golden Freddy. This game was when things went a little bit crazy with like the mini games and stuff, and the good ending and the bad ending. If you can answer this, which ending really happened?
Hello, Piggy Plays Gaming.
As to whether or not I should answer this question.
Okay.
And I went back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And the answer is very interesting.
Okay.
You know? The answer is very interesting. The answer is complex.
Okay.
However, I'm not going to answer it because it's only going to cause strife. I mean, you see the kind of trouble that erupted, especially several years ago. The flame wars that would go on over Mango's gender, something. You know?
Yeah.
You know, I mean.
Oh my God, the Mango gender.
You know.
It's a boy, it's a girl.
I'm going to answer this one, I'm afraid.
So, the good ending, you know, it was very, you know, sad, and it seemed like it was like the end of the franchise. Was this meant to be the final game?
I think when I was making that game, in my mind, that was the end of a trilogy.
Yeah.
You know, I think in my mind the story was going to be 3 games, and in all honesty, I think Final Fantasy Freddy's 3 was where I kind of started letting myself be driven a little bit more by criticisms of the game than maybe I had before. Before everybody was just really, really excited.
Yeah.
Before FNAF 4 came out, we were like, oh, who's Purple Guy?
I really was starting to pay
Where did he come from?
You know, for instance, you know, even though I may
Where did
have,
the Springtrap?
you know, in some,
Who became?
you know,
How did?
alternate life may have left for the
How
series
did the
alone
Spring
in
Bonnie
3,
become Springtrap?
people were not happy with the jump scare. And it's kind of...
Wait, how did Spring Bonnie get to the first FNAF location? First location.
That really bothered me. And so then that kind of, in my mind, I wouldn't let the series rest in a way, because I wanted to make another entry that was really, really scary again.
Yeah.
You know, and I think I accomplished that with Final Fantasy Freddy 4.
Yes.
You know, really focusing on really cool, really quick, unexpected jump scares
Yes.
that would kind of make you... So honestly, the series kind of was nudged forward by me wanting to improve upon the last entry.
Okay, awesome. That's interesting. Speaking about Five Nights at Freddy's 4, this was the next one.
Here we go.
July. Well, you originally planned it for it to be a Halloween release, right? And then you released it in July.
Well, I had things to do. The way that I see it is that I have something ready to go.
Just do it.
Know?
Yeah.
I mean, what's the point? I'm not I wasn't a gigantic corporation, with, releasing, advertise with a big marketing campaign, targeting a specific date, trying to squeeze it between other releases. I had people who were excited about the game and who were looking forward to it, and those are the only people I was thinking about. I was like, hey, there's a fan base here, and they're excited for this. Why not just go ahead and let them have it, and I'll just hop into the next project,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that served me really well for the majority of the games.
Yeah. Because I remember I was on holiday, wasn't I? And you emailed me about doing a first thoughts on the game. And I remember you emailing me I think it was literally the day after, saying, you know what, I'm just going to release it. So I think that made everybody excited about it though. Everyone was like, right, we know what it's like now. Scott, please just release it now. And you did. So I think I played it on holiday and I had a lot of good memories playing through it. While I'm screaming when people are next door to me, because on cruise ships cabins are really close together, so I was full on screaming in my cabin. I was honestly wondering what the next door neighbours were thinking about what the hell I was doing.
Well, I'm glad it ended up being a good memory. Sorry to stress you out. You're not the only person that I stressed out, by the way. So
What is he doing? Why the heck is he yelling?
Trying to cause you trouble. I think, if I remember correctly, right after I released Final Fantasy IV, I was sending out emails saying, hey, this game's out. And I sent one to Markiplier, and he emailed me back saying, dude, I can't play this. I just got to, this game conference just started. It's going to be going on for 4 days. So I stressed him out too, because obviously at the time everybody was pestering him, to play it immediately. And I think that he was able to, being the good sport that he is, he's still just like you did, even though you were inconvenienced, you still found time to, do videos.
Yeah, I always try to. If you remember with FNAF World, and I was in hospital, I still played it.
Yeah, that's right, you sure were.
Yeah, oh god. Oh, I could never miss anything, ever. So, with Five Nights at Freddy's 4, like you said, I think you basically answered this question anyway, about the game and the mechanics. You said that you wanted to make this more scarier, back to being anxious all the time.
Yeah.
And the...
With text with Camtasia, you can easily make amazing videos and screencasts.
Skip.
The interesting thing you did with this one is, I feel like every game you make, you try and implement a new mechanic that you haven't done before. And this one was specifically to do with sound.
Yeah.
You had to go to the doors and listen closely for breathing. And I think that impacted the jump scare a million times as scary. Because, you full on listening to the game. You have to listen to the game.
Yeah.
So when you get that jump scare out of nowhere, while you're listening, waiting for them to breathe, I think that really, made the game stand out.
Yeah, well, lots of the games were kind of experimental with different ways of initiating, the jump scare to see what was really effective. And yeah, I think looking into, this big dark chasm in front of you, not knowing if there's a face, 2 inches from your own face looking back at you, and you having to commit to turn on the flashlight, and then I think that one really worked.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So how were these to model? Were they, just as hard as Springtrap? Because it seemed like you were going all out on these Nightmare animatronics for the designs.
Yeah, the Nightmare animatronics were probably the most elaborate to model. I mean, I remember.
I see.
Anytime I start a new game, that's always the most difficult phase, is just starting into the modeling phase, because I know that it's going to take a really long time. It takes a lot of patience a lot of attention to detail.
Yep.
The Five Nights at Freddy's 1 models weren't that bad. I think I'm out Freddy in 2 days, and then I think I took that model and adjusted to make Bonnie in another day. And then the ones from Five Nights at Freddy's 2 were probably about the same day, maybe 1 or 2 days per character. And I mean, I was working all day on them, but still just a day or two per character.
Yeah.
But, I think Springtrap took maybe 4 or 5 days to make him.
Wow.
Yeah.
And each of the Nightmare animatronics, I think I spent about a week and a half on each one.
Wow.
Right.
I think a couple of them even 2 weeks on each one, just because lots of teeth, lots of tears in the fabric, which are not texture mapped on. I mean, those are actually kind of torn out into the model, because I think it looks a lot more convincing than trying to, texture map them on there. So I'd have to go in there really close, and I would have to actually, cut into that character, delete polygons and then straighten them all out to make them look like they're sharp corners rather than blocky squares. It's a lot of work, but I mean totally worth it though.
Yeah, exactly. So about the models, people were wondering about Foxy's tongue. So Foxy had a tongue in the teaser. Did you take that out because of complications with the game or anything?
No, I took it out because I didn't think it was scary on the teaser. There's something about those those long snake-like demonic tongues that they're kind of cool in theory, but they're not really scary in practice. Like I don't think I've ever seen a monster in a movie, extend out, its long tongue and snake it around and then me be scared by it. They're not very scary. So I just took it out for the game.
Yeah, awesome. About this game, it created a bit of a divide between people, specifically the box at the end, and then the TV advertisement with 1983, and then the Bite of 87 debate. How did you feel about the reactions to that?
Kind of like with Five Nights at Freddy's 3, where there was something I was kind of left unsatisfied with.
Mm-hmm.
The reaction to Five Nights at Freddy's 4, and the box is tied into this, very, very closely. I don't think that people weren't really happy
What's in the
from
box?
a horror standpoint, even though I got the jump scares kind of right.
Yeah.
And the box really fit into that lore aspect. I felt that it had all gone kind of it had strayed too far from an actual story in a way. Me just saying that, I'm going to get torn apart for even saying that, because people are going to look at what I've ended up with and they're like, you call this a story? But by Five Nights at Freddy's 4, it kind of went a little too broad. It cast its net too wide for interpretation. I guess that's the best way to say it. It went too broad for interpretation, and that left people unsatisfied. Because whereas the other ones, there were mysteries. 4 ended up just too mysterious to the point where you really couldn't, there was no real way to figure out what was going on. It left people unsatisfied. And like I said, with jumping from 3 to 4, I knew that I had to go in and straighten that out. It's like people aren't really happy with this. I need to make another game. I need to kind of ground this again, not necessarily in reality, but I need to ground it in kind of storytelling again. And really lay this down with what's going on. I watch all the game theory videos.
Matt.
Me and Matt sometimes had an antagonistic relationship back and forth. I inconvenience him with my games, and sometimes he inconveniences me with his theories. But it's all in good fun. But I'll tell you, he did a video on that box, and he kind of said that he thinks the contents of the box changed over the years. And I bet nobody gave that a whole lot of thought, but I saw that and I was like, he's absolutely right. He's absolutely right. The contents of that box have changed over the years because, it's for that very reason. It's because, of what I was intending the game to be when it happened, and then after the reaction of it, I was like, I need to craft this into something better for the people who see this as important, and that kind of indirectly does change the contents of the box, because it changes the contents of everything that came before. So I thought that was an interesting observation on his part.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned this on one of your Steam posts or something, that you put some things into this location to ground out the story of FNAF 4, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Right, so I mentioned about the hospital fiasco. This is when FNAF World was on the scene. Um, so, why did you decide to change things up and make FNAF World?
Well, I do have some reasons for why I made it, even though they're not. It doesn't mean it was a good idea. Just just because
Yeah.
I want to go ahead and get that out front. Just because I had reasons for making it, doesn't mean it was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
But one part of it was just that. I mean, there's only so much that you can let your mind focus on. Murders and tragedy and stuff like that. Before you kind of start cracking, even if it's just stories that you're making up. There's only so much human suffering that human mind can sit around and think about. And at that point, I was 2 years in.
Wow, 2 years.
This grisly story of murders, and I had to make something more lighthearted. And in hindsight, what I should have done is, I should have used that for a troll game, or I should have, made something like, Foxy Fighters. I should have just done something that was obviously for fun and not tried to somehow tie it in to a canon game. And that's obvious to me now, but like I'm saying, like I was saying, I wasn't thinking completely rationally at the time. And whereas, like I was saying, Final Fantasy 1 was the right game at the right time, FNAF World, that wasn't a good time for it to be made, because I was already in the rhythm of making games that were, coming out not too far apart from each other. I was making them pretty fast, and that's what people were wanting and expecting, and that's what I was wanting to do anyway. I'm not, blaming people for wanting that. That's what I had created that pattern, and I was happy with that. I liked making games really fast, but that was just a really poor decision of a game to try to make fast. In hindsight, like now would have probably been a better time to sit back and work on something like that. I mean, like after all the after I was kind of satisfied with all the canon games and other companies that, kind of taken on some other projects, then I could sit back and maybe enjoy making an RPG, and spend a couple of years on it, and just make something really nice, kind of, that looked like the Desolate Hope, really make some nice 3D models for it. Oh, and another mistake I made was FNAF World. I was designing it for mobile. I don't know. This is a whole separate interview about what went wrong with FNAF World. So let's just move along.
Okay. And so, how would you treat the game now as an experience? Like, have you learned anything making this game?
Oh yeah. I learned a lot. In fact, right before you called, I was kind of thinking over that game, and I realized that, that's probably the least valuable game I've ever made as far as profit is concerned. Mm-hmm. But it's also the single most valuable game of the entire franchise. And the reason is because what I learned from FNAF World is what is driving every single project going on right now. It is serving as the gemstone of quality control in my mind, and it has solidified exactly what I have to do going forward. If I was treating the movie as I was treating my game series at the time I made FNAF World, we would be 3 movies into the FNAF movies by now. Yeah. And they would probably be terrible.
Yes.
if I had the mindset that, oh hey, it's Five Nights at Freddy's, people will love it, regardless of quality, then we would already have several movies and they would all be terrible. I mean,
if the movie comes out, I am definitely going to see that.
It just served as a really important lesson for me that you should never take. It taught me to never take for granted.
I'm probably going to see it opening
how
night.
special it is to have a group of people who are eager to play what you make. Whenever I made I'll use the Desolate Hope as my example again. I saw one person made a piece of fan art of that on the internet. I found it on Google. Someone had drawn one of the characters, and that was the most special thing to me in the world. That someone had drawn a picture of one of my characters. Like, I can't even tell you how important seeing that one drawing was. And this is just, I have no idea who it was. But then, to have a fan base and to have kids that are drawing these pictures, and I got a letter from the other day addressed to Foxy.
Aww.
And God bless the post office in my town for knowing me and for sending me these letters anyway. I kid you not, it was addressed to Foxy, only to Foxy, and I think below it might have had some other clue as to who it was for, but the post office made sure to pass it along to me. I mean, how awesome is that? And the letter was written to Foxy. It was asking Foxy a question.
That's so awesome.
you know, that's so, there's nothing more priceless than that.
Yeah.
You know, and to have a fan base, you know, of people who care about these characters in the games, you know, that is the only thing that matters. You know, and they should never be taken for
How much
granted.
longer?
Yeah.
And
Okay, we're not that far.
and you know, who cares if something is commercial, and who cares
Yeah, it's
if
1
something
hour
is going
and
to make a
3
whole bunch
minutes.
of money? You know, you just have to make sure that whenever those people finally
Oh, I
get
think I
to
know why
see
it's 1
this
hour
next
30,
thing,
33 minutes,
that
because
it's
I
something
guess he's
that,
going
that
to
lifts
talk
them
about
up and
all
makes
the
them
games,
happy, and it's
and
something
I think
that was
including the
everything that they
books,
wanted.
I'm not sure.
You know, like that's all that matters. You know, and I need to write that kit back. I'm gonna go get a big envelope and put a bunch of Foxy plush toys, and I'm gonna write a letter as Foxy. I've never done that before, but I'm gonna totally do it. And I'm gonna even make a little tear in the paper and say that it was my hook.
Yeah, it's all,
totally
yeah.
do that.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really
So,
awesome.
but yeah, that's a long story. But no, FNAF World taught me to never take for granted your fan base.
Yeah, exactly. And the final question, which everybody's wanting to ask, is will Chipper ever return like he said he would?
Hey, Chipper is, listen, all of these games are haunted by different spirits, right?
Right.
But the real spirit haunting this whole franchise is Chipper. Chipper is haunting this whole franchise. I received a box of merchandise the other day, you know, like manufacturer samples, and there's a plush toy of Chipper, little L Chip, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I held that plush toy, and I was looking at L Chip, and I was thinking to myself, you know, you got merch. You got merch, Chipper.
Yeah.
You know, you were an abysmal failure, but you found your way into this merch. There you sit. You grin on your face, you know. Yeah, no, so Chipper's already back. He's infiltrated the franchise.
Yeah. Well,
So Chipper became an L Chip.
It was a reference to Chipper.
Oh yeah, of course he is.
Yeah, thought so. Now,
Here we go.
I feel like this was like the biggest change up in the franchise because you added voice actors. You know, you went beyond the limits of click team to a lot of people where, you know, you added a sense of free roam in this.
Poop.
Welcome to the Getting Started series for Camtasia.
I don't care. I just want to
continue
continue the video.
Like huge location. Is that maybe why you decided to put voice acting in, to change things up a little bit?
I think for Final Fantasy 1 through 4, I consider that all like one sitting for me. Like I sat down, I feel like I just sat down and made all 4 games in one sitting.
Yeah.
And it was only after that I sat back and thought, you know, how can I improve upon this? How can I add something new? And so that's when I was, you know, entertaining new ideas in my mind.
Yeah.
And yeah, voice acting is just kind of, I don't remember.
I like the
exactly what
voice
but
acting.
I did, you know, I bumped into just some incredible talent, you know, they got to use. Obviously, I mean, almost all of them, if not all of the voice actors that got for Sister Location have come back to reprise their roles or other roles, you know.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly, that's awesome.
Amazing people.
Yeah, they really are. Hello, by the way, voice actors, if you're watching.
Hello, voice actors.
So, I think you basically answered some of these. So I asked, like, what inspired you to make the game style so different. I mean, like, I think you've answered that throughout the interview. You just wanted to make something different compared to the others. So, how were these two model and design?
I think the Sister Location characters are probably were my favorite ones to model. I really like the metallic kind of look. I always kind of tend to lean sci-fi, which has actually gotten me in trouble a couple times with this franchise. You know, anytime I try to lean sci-fi, which is my natural inclination, you know, people are like, hey, whoa, this is a horror story, and then I have to somehow try to guide it back, you know. And then rightfully so, the first game's a horror movie, it's not sci-fi. But yeah, I don't know, I wanted it to be sci-fi, I wanted it to look really sleek and polished, and you know, I really enjoyed modeling all of those characters. And yeah, like I said, I think those are probably some of my favorite characters of the series.
So here's an interesting one, which I don't know if you're going to answer or not.
What is it?
So in Nightfall, when we're inside the suit.
Oh
a lot
my
of people
gosh.
wanted to know whose suit is that.
Whose suit is that? I'm afraid I'm not going to be able to answer that for you.
Aww.
Fine. That is.
That's gonna have to remain a topic of discussion.
Any memories or favourite moments?
I really enjoyed making that game. I have nothing but good memories about that.
Awesome.
I really enjoyed making that, and I really enjoyed working on the trailer. I think that's my favorite trailer, the ones that I made, and I loved seeing the reactions. Everybody just seemed to, and honestly, I think that's what creates the memories for me, is just seeing how things are kind of received. And obviously, if something is received really well, then I know I did my job right. And I know that I did something right. And yeah, being able to, so I think my favorite moment was getting to release that trailer and just seeing all the excitement from it. And I knew that I was on the right track.
Awesome. Yeah, I loved that trailer. I think I did a reaction. Yes, I did. I did a reaction. I loved it. It's so good and different as well, compared to your other trailers too. Because I think the favourite trailers from you, to me, are most likely FNAF 3 and Sister Location. I love it when you put like your own cutscenes in the trailers. I think it's really awesome. I have no idea how you did that. How did you do that, if I can ask that? Like, how did you put the models in cutscenes?
Yeah.
Is that with Click Team? I don't know anything about this stuff.
Well, I mean, before I was making video games, I mean, I was an animator. I got my degree in computer animation, and I had several jobs where I was, none
This
of
is
my
a stream,
jobs
guys.
ever
Like a
involved
weird stream for a
making
bug.
games at all. It's always been about using 3D Studio Max, obviously the modeling software that I use, and and that's a full animation program. So whenever I went to make the cutscenes, I wouldn't use Click Team at all. I would just go back to my old school skills, bring my characters together and animate them. And render out movies, drop those into my video editing software, and there you go.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've watched some of your old animations, by the way, on YouTube. They're all out there, Scott.
Oh, I know, man. I know. There's no getting away from it.
No, they were good. Honestly, I'm not even kidding.
There's one away, Scott. There's one away.
My favourite one, right, was with the cat. So the cat under the bridge, and the kid was always scared to see the cat, but he always used to leave her food, and what he didn't know is that she had babies. That's so cute.
Hey, that's a true story. That is based off of a true story. My family we were living in a little apartment complex, and there was always this creepy, ratty-looking cat that we all started fondly calling Demon Cat.
Demon Cat.
And my two sons now who are teenagers, they were just 3 and 4 at the time.
Yeah.
But we actually went out searching for demons. We made an event of it one night. We all got flashlights and went searching around the apartment complex looking for the Demon Cat. And I even got a photograph of it. And man, I don't know whatever happened to it, but we peered under a car, and I took a picture, and of course his eyes were glowing green, and we found Demon Cat. But then true to the story, like I don't know if it was a week or 2 later or whatever, it was a mama cat, had little babies. So it wasn't really this big bad cat. It was just a mama. And of course everybody was taking care of it. Like every single person was setting out food for her, so she was well taken care of.
Aww.
That's awesome.
That's cute.
Actually, thinking about your voice right now, you did narrate those, right?
Oh yeah, that was me and all of the voice roles. I mean, all the male roles, obviously, but
yeah.
Well, I mean, these days I'm so fortunate to, to be able to go online and be able to connect with voice talent. Not that I wouldn't have been able to afford it back at the time anyway, but the internet was brand new. I mean, we're talking 15, 16, 17 years ago when, the internet was around, but you couldn't just go online and connect with the kind of talent that you can today, So I was pretty much on my own when it came to voice acting.
Okay, moving on to I'd say the highlight of your trollness. Five Nights at Freddy's 6. The game you originally planned to be a pizza simulator, an 8-bit pizza simulator, and everyone was like, okay, let's have it. And you released the whole game without anybody knowing anything for a whole year. Like, why? This was a surprise.
Well, no, there actually was reasoning behind it. It wasn't just to be a troll, okay? And the reasoning was kind of complicated, and it was not a very fun. That was not a fun year. I mean, that was a game that was born out of necessity because I needed to kind of bring a conclusion to several events from the series. However, whenever I was in the early stages of it, and I think I'd released a very early idea that I was working on another game. And I think it was someone on Steam that just made a passing comment. It was just a passing comment. You know, nobody paid me attention to it. You know, he better not just start teasing the game like he always has been before. You know, because it's just not going to cut it anymore or something like that. I don't know. It was just some passing comment, but it just made me.
Guys, enjoy the stream. I'll see you guys all later. Peace, bigs. Out.